Hello and welcome back to another episode of Road to Writer. We're still in the editing hell. Well, we barely entered the editing hell. It's a wonderful day for science, let's call it, and I did some things. These are, I think, for eyes, for the things behind your eyes, the eye bags. I hope they're gonna work. They look weird. I'm bored, so I use them. Now, I don't really like them because they contain some humidity from, I don't know, the gel or something that it has here, and it kinda blows up my glasses. They make them foggy and weird. But never mind that. How are you doing today? Ready to do some sprints? We're gonna do some sprints today again, like yesterday. Kinda like the sprints. I'm in the process of moving from the country. So I'm between the streams. I'm just running amok, just doing and solving all the everything to be left behind without any incursions in the process. Like, let's say I'm leaving the apartment here, but there will still be some payments that need to be made, well, to the other people that live inside this building. And I have to close the internet, which is weird because I don't know when I'm gonna leave, like, precisely. Like, I know in the next week or two I'm gonna leave, but I don't know exactly when. There are a few more things to do, but I guess I'm ready to go in a new adventure. And if I die by this new thing that appears, well, that's it, because I'm bored sitting in the house. I'm bored sitting in here in the country, and I need to explore the world a little, as much as I can, not very much, but explore a different country. I think this lifestyle was enough for me. It was pretty cool, had some pretty good memories, but I'm turning 30 and I need a new country, a new culture, new a new place, new humans. 'Cause I already saw the potential here, and it's not very big. Well, there is big potential, but unless you something awesome comes along and provides with some real solutions that people will listen to, then it nobody will change. I have some solutions, but I'm not in the mood for doing that. I do need to write my book. I do need to edit it. I do need to write a couple more, and I need to edit, and I need to work, and I need to, live life. So yeah, this is my plan. Oh, these things are so annoying. So let's switch in here. Whoa, whoa, what happened in here? What happened in here? Ah, can you see it? Now I don't understand why these things happen. I think I'll just do it like that. Something seems to be not precisely in order there. That's not what I haven't changed a lot. All I tried was connect. I'm just gonna try and see if the chat box works. Let me just put it right here. And I think we can I will switch this tab here. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick test. See what's going on. There should appear a message here. Oh, why is life? Another day, another weird error, eh? I'm gonna try it again. You can see my hand here for some reason, but things are disappearing and I don't know why. Is there something here that I need to open? Ugh. No, I'm just gonna let it like here. For some reason am I live? Am I live? Let me just make sure am I live? That I'm live. I can hear the sound. Mm-hmm. Am I live? Yeah, I'm live. I'm live. Alright. That's alright, I guess. That's alright. I'm gonna switch the chat box on. Okay. So let me add the alert box. Essential. Gonna be here. And I'm gonna do a small new test and I'm gonna let it in this view. I'm gonna put the timer right here. And that's how it's gonna go. That's how it's gonna go because I don't know what happened. And sometimes I'm getting tired of figuring out what changes while I'm offline to these profiles because you save them. You don't use them until next time. They're already saved with everything that's going around. But I do need to do some editing today, so that's what I'm gonna do. So a quick another test for chat. For some reason I don't see it. I don't see the chat. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. How about if I do it? No, I don't know what the hell is going on. But yeah, it's gonna go like that. It's gonna go like this. I'm sorry about everything. Oh, it worked. It worked. The chat worked. Yay! And it does that thing. It does that thing. Still does that thing. All right, chatty chat. Let me go to my profile. And see what the hell might have happened here. Widgets, chat box. Okay. Um, I think this one is the one. Okay. So let me try again. Do I have a done? No, it's something weird with them. I'm gonna let it like that. I'm gonna search right now for a precious timer, and I'm gonna start editing. Cause I'm gonna go down this path. I'm gonna go on down this path for a couple of hours to see another error that what's going on, and I'm not. There is no time to do it because I must leave the country. I must leave. They're after me. They're after me. They're after my nice eye thing. Uh, like my eyes got very old this year. And I think it's due to the exposure to the screens. I've been facing the screens like too much, and I think I need something where to do something where I don't watch the screens every day, and that's why I feel old. This is why you should take some breaks from now and then from watching the streams. Not the streams. Streams. My streams, watch them carefully. Because nothing. But yeah, I'm gonna search now for a proper timer. And I'm gonna set it up. And we're gonna do some quick things. Where is it? Right. Where are the playlist? Yeah, these are the timers. I meant timer. Start with the 10-minute one as we always do. Let me add. Please allow me to add window capture. I didn't expect that to go. Oh, it's on YouTube. Boo. Boo, YouTube, boo. I used Chrome instead of Edge, and in Edge it doesn't allow you to. Gonna use dolls again. Do like this. I'm kind of getting familiar with them, so you already know what we should hear, what we should do. This sound will be reminiscent with productivity. So without further ado, I think we can start a sprint. And we'll talk afterwards. All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Dring, 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 dring. How did you do? Where is the timer? Okay, here it is. Let me just turn it off. And how did you do? How did you do? Did you do something in these 10 minutes? Anything productive? Coffee? I have some coffee here. I bought some coffee from the coffee shop. It's been a while since I've done that. Been actually half a year almost since I've done that, yeah. Well, not half a year, 3 months, 4 months. Even though I do need to cut back on that sugar also. Sorry about that, but I will eventually get through. So I managed to do a couple more edits. Not very much. I mostly read and just plucked some details. So let me just see exactly where I right. Yeah, I'm gonna put another window capture here. I'm sorry I'm doing this, but yeah, turn it on until I find this should be it. Bam. So what did I do is went straight home. The original way was where is it? Up the girl and headed to the exit of the supermarket. She went straight home and called Lee again. Dayu took a few breaths, stopped the grocery shopping cart, and headed to the exit. As we know, she was in the supermarket. That's pretty. She went straight home and called Lee again the instant she entered the door, locking it in her haste. So this tells us that she is still locking the door. And she's deeply afraid of something. Who knows? Or maybe it's something that happened. It's not a foreshadowing, but a little to tell us about her personality that things went through. Okay. Hey Lee, did I give you Tank's number or did I just stream? This we did yesterday. He was placing to the house. You gave me his number. I talked and explained. I wanted to thank you, but they already got to me and I didn't want to bring any more trouble to you. This was also edited. So here she asks who got to you, but on the edited part, I've added that doesn't understand quite clearly what's going on. So what do you mean they got to you? Who got to you? Dayu asked, concerned. I don't know if I should add more. Well, she was just concerned, right? Just concerned. And Lee is doing a wordplay here, and he says exactly who got to me. In case you want some Easter eggs. The Health Commission made me sign a waiver telling people I lied before. that I wanted to spread an illegal rumor. And the best part about it is that and the messed up part is that I have it too, Dayu. Lee said as he coughed a couple more times. I have made a declaration telling people I lied, even though I have it too, just so I'll be able to further help these persons. This system is stupid, Dayu. They provide you with a pen and paper so you can lie and make Zona save face. You sign it, they keep lying, and you keep your job and your family is safe. But this time, I might not get to keep it after all. Will you explain why coughing? I guess that you will have to wait. Try and talk to Tang. I cannot talk anymore. Keep safe and thank you again. And it's the most you can say. Lee doesn't really want to. Lee doesn't really want to involve Dayu in this more than he did until now, more than just asking for a reporter's number, Tang's number. Tang, which will disappear soon by the authorities of Zona. But yeah, all since they were friends, let me just give this volume a little lower. Yeah, this is better. This is quite better. So Lee didn't want to involve Dayu too much because she didn't have any like power, and there was no reason for her to be involved into this thing. So it's okay. I think until now it's pretty good. And we're gonna continue until we describe like some things that happened to her that made her be the way that she is. Gonna do it like this. It's not much, but I think for the first edit it's pretty good. Pretty good that we had so few corrections. Well, we had a lot of correction. We did need to add some descriptions and everything, but we didn't have to add a lot of new things happening, which is pretty great when writing a book, and pretty awesome. Now that's how it goes. For now, it's pretty good. We're gonna, I think if things are going well, today we're gonna finish the first chapter. Or maybe more, we can go further. We can see, we'll see how it goes. And maybe the second chapter too, we have to add a little more depth to our characters, because for now, we just know just a few things, and we don't understand how they got to that position yet, but we will make sure they are getting connected. And hey, maybe the orange will get back again, maybe that tea will get back again someday. Until then, should we do another? We're gonna do another in 2 minutes. 1 minute. In 1 minute. I'm gonna search for the 20-minute one. We're gonna do a 20-minute sprint now. I do need to add more add more clothes to the washing machine, as I do need to pair all my clothes that I'm gonna take there. The new country I'm going to. So the clothes I'm gonna take with me, the clothes that are gonna be left behind. Ooh. And yeah, that pretty much covers everything that's going on right now. Let's see what happened. I forgot to see what happened in the world today. What is the world getting into today? BTS. There's a lot of BTS. The Last of Us. Ooh, The Last of Us. What's happening with The Last of Us? I heard they. Oh, The Last of Us went 2 went online for sale, I guess. People are having a lot of reviews. They apparently the lights are pretty awesome. Last of Us, as I can see some screenshots here. Yeah, people are starting playing The Last of Us. Yeah, the digital copies are online, so if you wanna play it, it's out. Last of Us Part 2 is officially out. So get ready to stay into the house and just play a lot of video games. What else? Who is Diana? Don't know who she is. It's BTS. June 10th. What's June 10th? And why is it on the 19th? Why is it trending on the 19th? June 10th. Happy June 10th to American descendants of slavery, especially those in Texas. As we continue to walk in our ancestors' shoes, let us know not to forget that it's in our culture and history that built this country, the US. World be nothing without us. On 19th June. Okay, let me just see here. I see a Texas sign. So June 10th, I don't know how you spell that. Commemorated annually on June 19th. June 10th is the oldest known celebration of the end of slavery in the US. Alright, so there is no modern slavery. There is modern slavery. There is no slavery anymore because it ended in June 10th. So please don't bring it in any debates anymore because we've all been at some point through slavery. It's not something special. It's not anymore. You're just closest to it. I think uh, by the year 1000, I think my culture started ending slavery, and that doesn't mean we're the awesomest part. We were good at some times, but not anymore. Now we're just weird. Alright, so congratulations on the June 10th. Uh, Everyone is celebrating. Just try to be your best from now on. Not try to complain about the worst. Try to be your best. I think that will help you enormously your life. And yeah, that's yeah. Today's trending is not very special, and that's okay. I do enjoy a mellow trending in which nothing happens because we know we have. Let's start again. What did we have this year? Because I like to enumerate them from now and then so I can remember. We had we started the year with World War III trending because North Korea just did something. I forget what they did. Did they went into a Twitter scuffle or Twitter declaration? I don't remember. Oh no no no! It was the assassination of that Iranian person, I think, commander, and after between and before that, no, after that, there were the forest fires in Australia. There was that dude. There was the authorities that were failing to do anything about that. What else there was? We had the Co-20 virus that's still ravaging the world as we speak. We had North Korea being very angry at, not being very angry, but making ambiguous declarations about uh, someone gonna pay, no, someone's gonna suffer from serious consequences. There will be serious consequences. Yeah, that's what Kim Jong Un said, because they did every possible way to every known security measure for not contracting the virus, virus. We had WHO, just the Terra Health Organization. I'm sorry, not WHO. The Terra Health Organization just trying to keep this under control. I don't know why, under the covers, not telling people how uh, this can spread and how it would affect it because they didn't know, but they prefer to give Zona some lead time to get their affairs in order, destroying every economy around and making everyone just stay in the home, be angry, stay with each other, things like those. And then we have North Korea occupying the outposts near the border of Zona, and India and Zona killing a couple of soldiers between each other. They're kind of doing weird things. We had the protests, of course, we had the riots, we had the looting, we had the deaths, even the death of George Floyd, which again, it was horrible, but I don't think it was intentional murder. And you can say what you want, but it's gonna be weird seeing the trial. They might. I listened to a conversation yesterday with Brett Weinstein, and he kind of predicted what's happening now in America, in the States. And he he sees models. He's pretty. I think he's pretty smart. I don't know what he is. He's very intellectual, I want to say. But yeah, you can see he sees the concepts of what's going on properly with the causes, with the effects, and what's gonna happen, but not like a prophet. What's gonna happen? It's just like the data shows you, and he described terrifying reality that these new protests not want science, are angry at science. Science which provided us with a lot, a lot of stuff that helped us improve our lives, prolong our lifespan, and provide us with some accurate data. Not accurate, provide us with some data. Any data is good data, but yeah, he kind of predicted this, and he doesn't have any good predictions for what's gonna happen next. I was talking about something, wasn't I? Yeah, about these riots and looters and everything, and how everyone's gonna see it, and they want to defund the police, and probably the officer will be charged with murder, even though that wasn't quite the intention of the officer. The intention of the officer was to, I don't know, show him that he has the power, show George Floyd that he has the power, and he would sit on him until he calms down and can put him in the car. But yeah, unfortunately, he died, and it was horrible. And he might not get a fair trial, which means it will circumvent the base of the criminal system, the base of the law system. That means that man is stripped of his rights, of his like human rights, and it's going to be a turn point, which we have to see what's happening. We will have to see how will this evolve, because what makes this more special to strip someone of their rights, of their human rights, once again, like there will be another person, and after a while law will mean nothing to these people, and it's going to be very strange, and it might undo the American system of law, like everything, and it's gonna be terrifying but interesting at the same time. The important thing is for the other countries to not follow suit. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It's gonna be pretty interesting. As I talked about this in a hidden stream, it's not available anymore because I privated it as I got flagged on my other channel, and I started this talk in February, I think, or March, in which we will see the erosion of the pillars of community, the pillars of law. We don't, um, let's see, authority will start meaning less and less, and people will have no way to prescribe authority other than it's racist. Yes, it's they're managing to kill. You are pretty right. Hello, hello, chasing epiphanies. It was a spark. It was doomed to happen at some point. And people were talking about it, that they will do it and no real message will be sent. And that's the problem. They will send now the messages to defund the police instead of just trying and bring a new reform to it. The uh, they are using their powers, especially, well, everywhere people are abusing their power. But the horrible thing is that people don't understand how terrible the life there is to be a cop. And now the most hated group of people in the world, in America, in our country, we still adore police. We still believe some of them can do their job, and they won't. But they have so little training. I see, I've seen all the experts and even military SEALs just explaining how hard it is to be a cop, as you don't have the training required. There is a lot of crime in these areas, and so there is no free time for the officers to do the training. They just have to go from case to case to case every day, and encountering just dangerous people all the time, which kind of screws them out of their life. So we won't see a lot of police officers enrolling in the near future. We know there's a pattern with that, so that's why even now they're with the protests, they're also doing looting, providing the people with the the fear that they need cops more, while the others are totally protesting against cops, which is not helping. They're defunding the police, and the apparently some mayors allow non-intervention, while some people are scared shitless. That's the problem. They're not sending a clear message of what they want to do. And yeah, I think here's the problem with the funding them, is that they're not trained for. At the moment, the police in the US have large funds, some of which lets them get military grade weapons, which they're not trained for and held at the same standard as soldiers. Yeah, exactly. They're held at the same standard as soldiers who have years of training. Yet the police have like 2 or 3 months of training, and then you just go on street patrol. One of the officers who were on the George Floyd case, it was their third day on the job, and they're already in jail. And that's the thing. They don't have time for training, and since fewer and fewer people want to go and do it, there will be no police, and people will need some police. And I think it's the worst decision, because people will start creating private security firms. They will band up and create private security firms, and those have no law whatsoever. They just say they're defending it, and it's gonna be like a new kind of mafia again, and this happened. I don't know, in here in Romania after the communism passed. While the communism happened, they were uh, they were all in it together. But after the communism passed, you just had to know some people, everyone. You just have had to know someone in case someone needed help. So if you knew the people that were police or security firms, you could do illegal things without anyone baiting an eye. That's the problem, because there is no one to really stop you, and there are people out there who are drugged up and aggressive. Uh, Not just aggressive. There are some who are drugged up and drive, drugged up and losing their last piece of hope, and not just drugged, they're drunk and angry, and something happened to them that made them want to use that anger on anyone else, which kind of destabilizes the country, and the dollar will fall, bringing a new depression to the country, especially now with the lockdowns. But yeah, they do need, that's why they need some reform, but they're not asking for reform, for a, a precise reform, a well well established reform on how things are going to happen. Because people, when they're getting under arrest, they start running, and then everything everything goes to literal hell. Now I've been talking a lot. I don't know why, but I do. Yeah, they do. Some of them do have funds. They do receive funds for the weapons and the military. They don't receive funds for training them and putting them in special situations because they're understaffed, and there is a problem of where the funds go. There is a huge problem with where the funds go. That needs to be searched also. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start that 20-minute sprint I was talking about. They do get the funds as we get, you know, um, their fund approval goes like this. We need, like, the crime rate has improved by all right, but the police do not need military grade. The police do not need, yes, they do not need military grade weapons, indeed. When we're seeing violent tendencies, that's the problem. You don't know what do you want to defend. Like, when things are starting to get destroyed and set into flames, that's when you need some military grade armory. Um, but they do receive that military grade equipment by asking for funds. That will, and you do it on a piece of paper, like, we need this military grade because we have a lot of people with guns over here. We have a lot of people that are going in mobs, and we need some good quality, let's say, military equipment. And that's not that's not the police officers that are doing. It's just one, their captain or something that just wants to have some nice things there. So they can say their, let's say, their headquarters is mm, equipped with such equipment. So they can show other precincts that they have enough equipment to survive that, so they can look good on paper, so they can receive more funds. Um, that's how funds usually go. You have to take some corners there, some circles, and the more circles you take that you have, the more funding you get. And that's why it does need a reform. It does need more training because they're not using that. They can't request time. They can, but the probability of getting the time approved would be very, very low. Let's just say, I don't want some weapons, I just want some money to hire a new officer that could take place, that could replace other officers while they're on training. That they do not have, and that's a small possibility to receive funding for that. But for weapons, we all know how easy you get funding for weapons if you need weapons. Especially if there's a violent zone, if there's a war zone where people are killing each other, that's one of the easiest ways to get funds. But yeah, that's what they need, what they should do. Just reform the, let's say, their priorities, because they are, wherever you are, there are people with violent tendencies, and there are people that are killing each other, and the police is the only wall between you and that family member that just tries to kill you. Uh, that's another thing that people hardly understand, that most of the killing is in, most of the killing, most of the aggression, most of the problems where the police need to intervene is between either friends, family, and close relatives. Where and someone needs to come there when you're he's part of the family, but you can't do anything because you're afraid he'll kill you. But now you can't bring anyone in. Hey, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. No, I think there've been like 17 last month, but we, same as the as the virus, we don't know anymore. As it's kind of weird, the area in which they live, they kind of don't want to say who if someone died. There were a lot of people that died, that, but not necessarily because of the riots. They got killed, they got raped, and in Chaz, for example, the police cannot respond to the calls of thievery, of violence that's happening in some dark places, and people are starting to feel very insecure. Yes, indeed, it shouldn't, but when there's a mob and someone's angry at someone else, there is violence, and there is some bad Oh, I remember a couple of things that were terrifying, but I don't think if they are available anymore. Oh, this one was pretty funny. Let's see. I did enjoy this one. Let me just put it up in view. Where is it? Okay. Okay, done. Um, let's say, for example, this one. They're protesting. He's saying okay.
Why are you? We're on your side! We're on your side! Holy shit! We're on your side!
Yeah, this could kill you. But there were that stone owner. There was that that store owner that just got beaten to almost death. That was pretty horrifying, knowing that this happens in everywhere. I did see the mob doing some great things. Where was that? Yeah, setting houses on fire. No, this one. This was the one when no matter how you protest and no matter how peaceful. Oh, they they change it. Can I view? Yeah, I can view. All right. Because let's turn it on. I think this one is the one that terrified me the most.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Shit! Look at your stupid ass!
Exactly. That's what's going on. Yeah, that's the thing with these protests, because they're hiding the violence, and there's Antifa over there which is trying to defund STEM. That's the problem. If when you go after science, you know you got it wrong. Because that's the person that just almost got killed. I don't know if he survived or not anymore. We know that he wasn't dead, but in critical condition. He was a stone owner trying to protect his store from getting looted. Mm. A person on the side of a riot isn't organized, but an angry reaction to an injustice. One can criticize it, but it's about as productive as complaining about complaining. The problem here is it's a reaction indeed, but they're reacting only to one injustice, and they're not even reacting to injustice. They're they're reacting to every injustice they've created in their mindset until now, because police brutality is happening everywhere, just uh, not just in the poor communities. It happens more in the poor communities, and the ability to criticize is just going um, is fading out. The people that are providing real criticism to the Black Lives Matter um, movement and Antifa movement, they are being shadow banned, they are being hidden, even though Antifa is almost being declared. I don't know if it's declared or not a terrorist organization. If a person stomps on a hornet's nest, for example, there's no point in criticizing an angry swarm. What can be done is preventing conditions that will lead to the situation in the first place. There will always be situations like this. There will always be people that will resist arrest, will resist being caught. That's the problem, and they I don't know why they're doing it. I know why they're doing it, because they did something and they shouldn't do that. That's the problem. Once you get arrested, just say you know you're arrested. Nothing good's gonna happen if you're gonna run, if you're gonna resist, if you're gonna uh, try and do something more. And I know there's a problem where everyone just doesn't know how to react, but I've been arrested. A lot of people have been arrested, and you just they complied and you wait for the officer to tell you what you're gonna do next, or the lawyer to tell you what you're gonna do next. Don't do crime. The answer is don't do crime, because if a hornet, because you're not stepping on a hornet nest here, you are encountering hornets, and if you kill one of the hornets, you're gonna say you stepped on my nest, and um, now we're allowed to kill you, or to harm you, or to destroy everything around you. And that takes up to the arrested person. It's not quite up to the police to be in a position to be arrested. Just comply. It's because they know it's a shitstorm out there, and it's gonna change either way. It's either eventually, because now if we stepped on a hornet's nest, if I stepped on a hornet's nest, and let's say the hornets are angry, and I had the technology to just settle them back in and just accept the new power I have, it's not gonna be pretty. And in some places that might happen, in which the military will just be angry. I've seen a lot of cops already being frustrated by this, because they do not have anything to say in their defense, because they are not allowed to in their contracts. And now they're being angry, they're walking out of their job, they're like taking sick days, and there are spikes of violence now, and people are not ready for that. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. people will just have to go and vote. And if there will be voting um, booths left by November. Yeah, a spray can and a lighter to deal with hornets. Yeah, they need to get a bitter spray can and lighter. Yeah, but they don't have. They're hornets. They're hornets. They're just angry. They they can't get a bigger spray and lighter. Because if they do, you find other ways to just settle them down. You just use gas. And then people will be angry, especially after this lockdown. The only thing I'm curious is how the rates of the virus will change after this, because now people can't really record if it's growing, if it's not growing, because there are other things to think about. But we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe it's just inflated. Maybe it's just inflated what they're doing. But I do not want to see people get hurt or not doing anything just because a cop did something. And of course, that cop was a piece of shit. But it wasn't. I don't think he intended to murder. Just try to look like the bigger man. And he didn't make it. But I've been talking again. And I got into the sprint. We'll talk after the sprint. Let me just do another 20-minute sprint because I do need to do some more editing. So, let's just see it here. The window capture. This should be the one. This is the one from Tal. Come on, I'm here. Yes, that's the one. We're gonna do a sprint and we'll continue further. Yeah, true, good intention doesn't always lead to good results. But neither do bad intention. That's the only issue. Now let's start a sprint and we'll... Oh! Hello, over 9,000 BPS. No, no bigger spray and lighter. Hello, hello everyone. We're just starting the sprint now. We'll talk a little after the sprint. Let me just get into this as soon as possible. So 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's see what happened. Because I did some more editing, and let's see what happened in the chat. I saw a lot of discussions here. Hey Sako, I just saw you when you came on, but I really had to start the sprint because I can get lost into stories like a lot, and I did want to sprint, and I did, and it's awesome. And we did sprint. Well, it does because I've been watching these things very closely, and there's some things I don't understand, and there's some things that are getting out of this that are not the desired, let's say, outcome. There will be some undesired outcomes if this continues. Let's see what happened. Okay, so over 9,000 BPS said that the good intentions are long gone. Now it's all about looting and violence. And there are only two ways it will end: violently or by the collapse of civilized society. Now, there will be a third option for that, and that's one of my opinions for now. If these things continue, that I think it will be violently, but not in the way that there will be a civil war. It will start with people just complaining a lot. Not just complaining, they will call the police, and after a while, when the police won't be there to help them, they will ensure that they will move to an area, or they will have an area where they will be assured by the police and their response. And for now, we're seeing as mayors just let everything happen, some of them, and the more they let this happen, the more people will get more scared, and they will start calling their higher ups and just say, we don't want this, we have a business own, and if you're not going to protect us from and our businesses from this thing, we will have to change shop, or we will have to see you in court, because they swore an oath and they are paying money for this. And eventually it will lead to either bring the National Guard heavy on everyone and just stomp them, which won't change anything. It's just there'll be a lot of things that are going on. There'll be a lot of complaining that will happen, and that won't change anything, actually. Now, let's see what else. Yeah, not all the protesters are gone there, because that's one of my issues with all these protests, because there are already free messages that are being spread, and there is no one central message. You don't know which one you can approach. You have Black Lives Matter, who protests Black Lives not mattering, apparently. I don't know. Even though we kind of know why these things happen. There is data that show us that usually these areas have a higher crime, in which means there are a lot of officers that are more scared, and you all know the whole statistics thing, which is why there is Antifa now also in that protest, that they want, let's say, communism, a kind of communism and anarchy, in which they stir things up. They make funds, they create GoFundMe's for them to be released from prison if they are caught looting. So while they start the things, they start the looting, they do the looting, and then they are followed by other people who do the looting, but they will be accused and they will go to the cracks again and they will go in jail and ask, why are the other people not in jail for looting? It's because they got organized and they have a lot of GoFundMe's to use it on the lawyers, on the bails, and everything. So there will be another anger there because, let's face it, most of them are white children, I don't know, simps. And yeah, that will be another issue that will be talked about years and years of how the police is unfair when it's actually they will be fair because they have money. And also there are a lot of scams going on. There was a, I don't think, I think it was an Antifa or a Black Lives Movement, I don't know which one of them. They were collecting money to post bail on the looters, on the rioters, just giving anyone a free go knowing they're covered. But they kind of, they gathered about $2 million. They just used $100,000 from that to help their primary assailants. And yeah, they're actually funding terrorism as we watch. That's why the message is quite. There is also the George Floyd protest, which is about police brutality, I think, and indeed, but that doesn't mean it's. Well, let me just get to all the points. Yeah, the snowflake generation is allowing them to do whatever they want to. They're actually paying them to do whatever they want to, because yeah, that makes them feel like they're doing something, even though they're destroying things. They think they are productive with it. It's Antifa. It's been years since people all over the place were just making hints at this growing, and the fact that they don't believe in anything, they don't have a specific set of rules to live by. They just want to do whatever they want, even though it hurts other people. Some of them, even Black Lives Matter, even Antifa, they have a quote in which they say, by any means necessary. And when an organization has a quote like that in their mantra, that means they don't really care about stuff. They only to obtain thing they want to obtain, and we don't know what they want to obtain, by any means necessary, even if that means harming you, harming anyone around them. All right. And to paint them all as violent, useless loser is simplify it. Indeed, they're not all violent. Some of them really believe they're protesting for George Floyd, but they do not understand that they have a lot of people come there just for things to happen so they can get free stuff. And they're willing to let that go as long as they have enough people to create a protest, providing them with the illusion that they have more people that are in agreement with them, when when they are actually there to just do whatever they want, break, rape, kill, or beat someone down and steal. That's the problem. And you can't weed them all out. I saw a lot of protesters, but that's during the day. That's during the day when they see other protesters trying to get some violence going, and they caught them and they throw them to the police directly, and that was a wholesome thing. And I've been saying this since they happened. They need to recreate their community so the police won't be required to uh, be called at every step, so they will have a better grip on their community. Uh, it depends. The crime statistic. What crime statistics? That's the problem with the statistics, because they're statistics. They're actually true. And when an area has more crime, of course, more cops are sent there. But already the cops know that it might be dangerous there because it has more crime, which is why you can't take anything lightly anymore, because that person might take your gun and shoot you with it, as it happened with in the last case when they took the taser from that dude. No, that dude tried to take the taser from the police officer and tried to shoot it at them. Uh, but yeah, there is higher crime in the black community. Even if people are willing to accept it or not. It's a way of distributing figures that causes more harm than good at this time, as it keeps the poor poor and keeps families separated, both of which are the main contributors to crime. The thing is not actually the police that's keeping families separated. They do have a very high percentage of single parenthood, meaning the father is going away, the father leaves the mother, and so the child doesn't have a father figure. They will have to get one from outside, from their friends, someone that's bigger, someone that's more responsible, someone that can provide them with the things they need, that promises people that promises kids that they will be provided with the things they need. And usually they're provided with girls, with money, as in every religion, with popularity, with feeling that he is actually a quite good thing. And that's not quite addressed in the protests. Single parenthood, you can't, nobody protests that, even though that happens in a significantly way long in America and black families. In Europe, that's not the case. Usually, well, we have a different racism here. I mean, we don't really have racism. It matters from where you are and what have you done, what did your parents do. It's all about your achievements or your history. Never about the color of the skin. It's hardly about the color of the skin. So yeah, the that's they do. There is a reason they don't really suffer from racist tendencies. It's about what they are doing when they are caught. It's not racist to say that more uh, people, I want to say, black people are more enticed, let's say. No, I'm it's a different word, but are more prone to shooting a black person. Same as Spanish shooting a Spanish person. Same as white shooting a white person. They're easily, because whites, white people, white people will have a quite, what do you call that, when you kind of want to do something but you just stop yourself a little, hesitant, are a little hesitant when trying to, when getting in contact with black people. But there is a problem. Something is missing in that culture over there, in that poor culture. And if you bring authority there, and there is not a lot of authority there, because they do believe that not they believe, they know, most of them, they know they need some help from the police. And the police can't get there if there's a lot of crime going from place to place. That's the problem. And you can't hire a lot of people, and the only persons that are going now are the ones that had a shady past. You won't get a straight A student just going into the police force, seeing it's not paid so well. Their salaries are shit, and you have a police officer that hardly scrapes to go by and just risks his day every day just to go see someone that couldn't stay home as he was drunk, as he was drugged, as he was angry at something and couldn't just listen to the police's order. Yes, there is plenty of the single parenthood. There is a lot, especially in the black community for some reason, and that's not. But a lot would be helped if justice system didn't suffer from racist tendencies. I I don't know if it suffers now from racist tendency. I'm not sure where does it suffer from racist tendency. They used to have that system, and with they used to have until with that Jim Crow and that redlining, they had a lot of racist systems, but now they don't have that anymore, and there are a lot of things everyone can do to not be considered, I don't know, racist, but sometimes you just have to be better. It's hard to tell you here because we live in a white country, but if you don't get a job, if I don't get a job, can I say it's racism? If I go and apply somewhere and I don't get it, I can't say it's racism, but I didn't get it. There must be something. And sometimes the reason might be that I didn't write my CV as I should, that I don't have the required skills, that I need to learn more skills to be hired. There is self-reflection to be made. And it's not always a good solution to lash out at something that you didn't reflect at first. And when you're going, I think the only thing that annoys me very much and just troubles my heart is the fact that they want to defund STEM. That's when you get when you undo progress when you lash out at science for telling you what's going on. And we know why it's going on. Indeed, but I can't accuse. I can't do that. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. If if I don't get the job because of, let's say, my name, or I don't look like for example, my face, I'm biologically, for me to smile, it's very hard because I have to put a lot of effort to look like I'm smiling without looking like a dick. Which is why I had the name, also this name, on my channel, to just see these things as they happen. I can't and I can't call that racism, because if I can't get in there, if I'm not good enough to get in there, then I must get better. I don't have to lash out at the government for not enjoying my name. And usually they won't tell you it's your name. They will tell you anything else. And that's how the world works. And sometimes you just have to face it and search somewhere else. You don't go and burn down. I won't go down and burn Sweden because they don't like my name. That's the problem. Yeah. It's how it is. It is what it is. I just like to complain about complaining, after all. But it's just boggling. I'm just gonna prepare for a new sprint. But let me just, no, this is not the one. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. I've done some corrections here. Okay. Is it conspirational or conspiracy? Conspiracy theories, yeah. I started just reading a little bit around here. I had reading manner. I don't know if it's written well here because it's a long sentence. Yeah, her research into human behavior of Romanian Orthodox interactions during the holidays and how those holidays affected or improved people's lives took most of her time. I think this is bad, this is good. It was already December after all. St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, and a whole other bunch of Christmas customs to analyze. While they are happening, I'm gonna leave that to the editor. While they are happening, left little to no time to watch TV or get into conspiracy theories that might get her nowhere. Dayu's fascination for this study started when she was working on her PhD in health policy, a case she witnessed that marked her spirit so much that she needed to find out more about abusive behaviors and how to stop it at its roots. The cases were pretty rare in Zona, but she still managed to witness one. So, yeah, as I mentioned here, we were talking about Dayu is trying to. Dayu got into research of how, some secret research on how people interact during holidays and how that changed their life based on their religion and such. That's what she's doing, because she noticed a case where a 14-year-old girl was not allowed to receive any treatment because of religious reasons that were that's gist of the story. So I'm gonna prepare to edit a little more as soon as yeah, the classic Moonstruck smile. It is. The solution will simply be to create conversation and understanding between group. Don't think government intervention can do that much, Sally. Indeed, it cannot do, and at some point people will get angry, and there will be government intervention. This won't really last for long, or they will start creating those autonomous zones where people are getting hungry. And there's a problem with that. Because now they created narratives, the left has created narratives that everything you say is racist. And you can't really say, you can't even cite statistics properly anymore without getting shadow banned, without getting deplatformed, cancelled, and everything. And there is no that's why it's frustrating for some people, because real reporters and people that have anything to do with the media can either subscribe to that belief systems or be deplatformed. And there is no more, let's say, conversation. They are trying to close down the conversation because they do not have data, and the data doesn't matter, and the statistics doesn't matter, and the numbers don't matter for them. All that matters is the feelings. I'd call very left-leaning, and I take umbrage with that generalization. I know I am center left, but there is a point where you go to the left, where you go the same way to the right, in which arguments don't matter, logic doesn't matter. What matters is how you feel about them and how vocal you are about them. They, at some point, they are the same, left-leaning and right-leaning. If you go too much into, let's say, conservatives, like build a wall and just get inside, listen to the police at every point, and listen to what your, let's say, mayors and everyone says to you, then that goes way to the right, and just protect white people, I don't know, or in black people, every little, let's say, camp has the same thing. Because if you go to the left too much, then you become the right. you have actually, you are able to take someone's livelihood just because they're citing statistic. You are able to vociferate a thing that doesn't even matter it's racist, but as long as you have your bubble there, as the conservatives have also, that all your biases are enforced by the same group, you will take away people's rights. Even if that, when you start taking away people's rights, that's when you go too far in any direction, because they're the same thing. They're just, one is a Democrat and one is a conservative. Yeah, they're bad. I between a fascist and a socialist. Well, mm, it depends on fascist, but what is fascist nowadays? Because that's why the left went to right. They were discussing this a couple of years ago. What is actually fascist? Who is actually fascist? Because you say you're anti-fascist and you just put a label on everything and say those are fascists, those are Nazis. There was there was a moment when doing this, no this, doing this was considered being a Nazi, and we've done this since we were child. You can put everything to be fascist and Nazis. Socialism is, I see a little difference between them, but they're the same because they have only one ideology, is to get whatever you want because the others couldn't provide you with it, and you will steal and take, and it's all ours, but I'm not going to do anything about it. All I'm going to do is destroy things so I can receive things. That's how usually socialism fails, when people take things, they all take things without creating things. They let the right leaning people or the other people, they let create them things, and then taking them without providing with some value. Echoes text for fascism. It's best and concise paper on how to recognize fascism. No, I should check it out. Let's see. Mm, Bert. Oh, the Italian fascism. That's awesome because might have actual insight. Hmm. Yeah, good thing. Let's see if I can find it on. I will just check it out soon if I can find it on that one. But I will read it. Thank you for the recommendation. They, and I hope I'll get a better view on it, as I want to see a real fascist. I want to see if his descriptions of fascism just coincided with today's fascists that were declared by the left wing as fascists. That's those are the traits that I'm very curious. Thank you for that. Is it long? Is it long? Do I have to do a lot of things? I'll just have to see. Okay, let me just turn the chat box on to have it here also. Come on, chat box. Do some spamming of the messages. Yay! It's quite short too. I do love short things. Oh, oh, this is not one, but I presume it's this. I should read it. But echo or Oh, I think I. Oh, so it's sided. There are a lot of papers here. Oh, I know what I have to do today. Yes, it's quite short. Is the perfect amount of short. Thank you. Thank you. Download. Okay, gonna do one more sprint. And did you do something in that sprint? I kind of forgot to ask what did you do in the sprint. And I need to find what's going on here. Ooh. I've done all the chores for today. Almost, so I do have the time to read it. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, political mode. It's I try to get away from this, but I see on the internet, and not only just the internet, as people are getting uh, things are changing, and I want to see how they gonna change. I'm gonna be there when they're changing. All right. Oh, so this chat box, I'm gonna turn it off because again, it's spamming for some nebulous reason that the app decided to enact in my computer. So without further ado, we're gonna do another 20-minute sprint, and I think we're gonna end with that. Probably getting a little more political if we have, but I do enjoy our talks. Chasing epiphanies, I do enjoy talking to you because you too have very good, solid arguments. But I wanted to say you too are right in some circumstances, as I am in other circumstances. Probably I am. I'm not sure if I am. I do like to believe I am, but I do need some data. So, without further ado, let's start it. Where is the window? Is this the window? Yes, this is. One last 20-minute sprint. I'm gonna use my favorite one, this one, with a missing second. So, 3, 2, 1, sprint, sprint, sprint. Tinga. Sprint, done. Whew. Started editing. Again, a couple of pages. Well, 2 pages. I'm at page 5. So, should I do a window capture? Yeah. 1. I'm now describing a little, I'm just giving a little more background to Dayu and to Tang as this will need to be edited more in the third one. It really did fly. It really did fly. I'm just trying to describe how the government works of Zona and why does Dayu doesn't try to call, doesn't get worried when Tang isn't answering the phone because he went blackout, and being in Zona, going blackout is totally normal for a journalist because people will get punished if they have contact with those persons that are flagged as persons that do not respect Zona. That's what I'm getting into. But let's see, what messages did we have? Reading a book on the theory and practice of peaceful protest and civil disobedience. We'll make a video that provides interesting arguments and ideas. I will wait for that. We do need any argument possible, and it will be well received, no matter, as long as the argument, even if the arguments are bad, even if they are good, they will always be received because now we do need to talk about it. So in every form possible, and I'm sure you're gonna use some awesome words and some real good things. But yeah, I'll wait for that. I'll wait for that. It did fly. What did you do? What did you do? You're reading? You started reading still? That book now? I'm still quite curious if this is allowable. Yeah. Well, there are a lot of things to be addressed. I'm pretty sure you do have a lot of things that gotta be addressed, and that some people are addressing badly, probably me also. But yeah, it is kind of annoying when you have a lot of material to go through and a lot of arguments to go through for every single sentence, because now that's what's happening. You need an argument for everything. But yeah, you can do a multi-part if you have some of these, because you're taking notes on every page. That's meaning gonna be a long video. Is it undemocratic? There are a lot of undemocratic things, indeed, and those also need to be addressed. So I do get, I think, the level of arguments we need to do to breaking the law always bad. No. It's not. Breaking the law isn't always bad. I do believe that strongly, but there needs to be a measure for that. When is it bad? what tactics work and what tactics do not work. Well, let's say that the tactics of this year, the tactics that humanity prepared for the year 2020, none of them work. Hardly any of them work. The New Zealand is the only ones that had some good tactics, but they're very low there. They don't have a dense population, but I think they are the coolest ones of how they did it with the virus, I say. Well, they also have a higher living standard, so I don't think they have a lot of riots in there. But for now, none of the tactics work, not even just standing back or being aggressive, even though we didn't see any being aggressive. It shows how being in line with the law can still be irresponsible. Yeah, indeed, it's very easy to become a Nazi, to be a Nazi in that time, especially if you are from Germany and you see the rhetoric and you see what's going on. A lot, any of us could become Nazis or be enrolled in the army, in that army that even though it has the wrong, let's say, values, it's pretty easy to become a Nazi or an, let's say an evil man. They were not all evil, but some of them, most of them were, because they already got into that juice. The yeah, it's you don't even have to follow the law to become a Nazi. You just have to be desperate enough to take a side, even if that side kills people and does atrocious things. Because it's very easy to let's say you don't have a job, you're starving. Are you going to go with the law and try to stop the Nazis, or are you just going to enroll and have some food? And you're gonna make sure that your family has food also, because it's already the regime was already had the power. So once it has a power, people will feel obligated to either starve or pick the side that can pay them, which is what we're seeing on the left side nowadays. That's the problem, when you either are with them or you are not able to do anything. They will dox you, they will fire you from your work, especially if you are public. And that's one of the things I'm afraid of. I'm reminded, brought up Carl Schmitt, who viewed politics as the distribution of power between groups. It kind of is a distribution between groups of power. Distribution of power between groups, but there is there needs to be a, how do I say this, a concise measurement, because now they took the power, they stole the power, they're stealing the power, they're they're trying to backtrack the power just so some of them will have power, because that's how socialism is. They led him to believe that if a country is too liberal, it will be easy to pray for a more unified group. This ironically led him to joining the Nazis, since he thought that bad group was the Jews. Indeed, like you are eventually going to choose a side if the other side is going to be too aggressive. They're gonna be look like winners, and you do have to see what every group stands for and which group will be most successful and which one will you be joining. Because now there are some young minds out there that will be joining these groups for, I don't know, some standing ovations, for some history in the making, and it is history in the making now, and they want to be on the front page, even though that means they're destroying things. They're, because that provides them with some new things, some pussy, because that's the way they figured out they can get it. Some money, something. There was a saying: if you do something, never doing. If you do something good, never do it for free. So I guess that's what they're doing, while of course just destroying the whole movement of protests. That's what I was against. I am not against those protests. I wasn't against those protests until they started looting. People started seeing it as an opportunity to thrive and destroy other people's life. They were distributing by how you contribute to society, as opposed to giving power, depicting on how much capital or resources you have, like in capitalism. Now, it's hard to adopt that also. I think in Nordic countries they do have good socialism there, where there is a lot of money that goes to the workers, there is a lot of power that goes to the workers, that of course it's needed, but in capitalism you have the chance of succeeding, like really succeeding, without, if if you're awesome and you know all the rules that you have to play, even if some people will tell you that you're wrong, even if they don't like you, you do have the possibility of just getting up the ladder. Yeah, they do. That's what I also like there. You do have great social nets, in not safety nets if things are going down. That's true. We here where we live, it's in Romania it's capitalism. I think it's just started sprouting. But in the 90s, we were socialists. We were communism, actually. We were communists. And it didn't quite work because there were the only people that had the power were the power was being redistributed in the family, in the closest family. It didn't matter if you're good, if you were too good. The someone's brother or someone's sister or someone's niece will always be higher there to get into those top positions. That still happens in the country. There are still shadows here of that, where you don't really try to help someone, you just try to give your family more money. And you don't have great safety nets here. You just go down once you go. If you're not working, then you will move in the other country to work. Because here, if you work, they don't try to invest in you. They're just trying to get the. They just try to give you the minimum amount possible of income. The private firms. It's also about the owners. Every situation, and even the we just had a case a few weeks ago in which the head of the health ministry, or let's say second in power, that was no, he was the head of a hospital, the one that conducts everything. He was just a bartender before that, and he was serving food to the politicians that give him the power to rule a hospital without any prior knowledge. Uh, yeah, communism, yeah, on paper, only on paper, it never works out in real life because people get too greedy, too greedy. But from what I can tell, it tends to be susceptible to, yes, it is susceptible to corruption a lot. And we can still see it here where they're like this stealing everywhere. Even I did some things. I was hired on the down low as the person that hired me didn't want to pay a lot of taxes because it was an IT field. So they made me a special contract in which on paper they give me the least amount of money and I am working as something else just so he could get more money from me, from my work. And the fact that many communist regimes came about due to revolution also creates military-like hierarchy. Mm, I don't know what started our revolution. It was, but we didn't have military-like hierarchy. We don't have it here. Here it's who you know and how many uh, contracts and how many hands have you oiled. It's a lot of kissing the butt of someone that you get in power. Uh, yeah, it's still undergoing this human discovery, but I do like sometimes I do like the times we live in, because when else could you be so informed and so disinformed at the same time about so many things? That's what I love about this. You can, and that's what I'm thinking, that I can be, I can watch everything happening from start to end and still do not understand what's going on, but still can see some patterns that you know why, you know deep down why some things are happening, but now you're not allowed to tell them. And I can't go back to, I don't think I can go to socialism. Socialism looks good for producing stuff, like producing en masse stuff, and it's probably a good answer, but I didn't like how they did it in China. That's pretty bad how they did it there. And not those fancy things that you're seeing on the good sides, those bad things that happen underneath. Those how farmers were supposed to sell their lands or just work for the huge companies, because those companies bought everything around those farmers, leaving them to either work their life and pay those huge companies or work for those companies only. The only way to survive. If you put two humans in a room, there will be three opinions. Yes, there will be more opinions, and I opinions are good. Sometimes you get locked down in an opinion. You get a new opinion if you're allowed to give your opinions, even if they're good and even if they're bad. I do love some good opinions. You do have the good opinions, but I have seen a lot of bad opinions that change nothing. They are more destructive than they are good. But the ability to just talk about them provides new insights in every situation. And I think that's how we can end it. Yeah, indeed, it's alright. Change our mind if we see better arguments. That's that's a thing that might disappear soon. Uh, that's what science is about. Being able to change your mind if you see better data, better arguments, if you understand the data better. Hmm. And with more data come better arguments, and we're good. I'm still very scared. Yeah. Hey, no negativity, no negative. It. Oh, actually, I should start on that. And it's 3 o'clock, and there's not. We've done on it. How many sprints? We've done 3 sprints, right? I think 3 sprints were enough for today. Because I do have the video with the positivity that I'm still working on, because I don't know how much time to add into it, and that freaks me out, and I don't put any time into it. Yes, we have to be careful, but we have to also be able to describe it. we know some things will be interpreted as racist. Um, there's nothing we can do about it. It's happening. It's data, and it's where you go after that. It gives you a small glimpse, an insight. You know there's a problem there. You know there that that you can investigate further and see what the problems are, or the good things, what works, and we know science works. That's what we have until now. Science works, and going going on that, that's when people starts to take sides. When you see that logic doesn't matter anymore, math doesn't matter anymore, that brings the confusion to people. And it always gonna be there were a lot of scandals, and I don't know if you know the, was it Eric Weinstein or Weinstein? I forgot his name. He was in trouble for or Brett Weinstein. Which one was it? Um, Indeed, for this reason I don't trust posts. I'm just stating facts. How the facts are interpreted is just as important at the end. Indeed, but that's why there needs to be more research for more facts to come out. But call statistics to try to tell they're racist, call them racist, because it just describes how many people are doing illegal things and what people are doing illegal things and who they are doing illegal things through. That's not racist. That's just what happens. Let's see. Scandal. Um, I think Brett Weinstein. Okay, so Brett Weinstein was the one. Um, is an evolutionary biologist that made national headlines for being a racist. Because he just described, let's see, Evergreen allows students of color to take a day of rest. That their importance, Brett Weinstein was been on board with this for a long time. Oh yeah, it was the thing that in Evergreen State University, students of colors could take a day of absence. So their importance and contribution will be felt at the university. And Brett Weinstein was on board, but then he flipped the logic. Rather than telling people of color to stay away for the day, they told white people that they are not welcome in the campus of the day. Absence was not compulsory. No, it's not right, this one, but I'm not understanding what they're saying. I need more data. Yeah, I can't be on this. This is not good site. Okay. Maybe this one will provide me with more information. Okay. Microphone. Oh, they were doing protests of anti-racist people, and they told they were telling white people to stay home, to be absent. That was the thing, and it was targeted with physical and verbal harassment. They had to claim. Oh, the university didn't stop the students for harassing them. Yeah, they did have a lot of these things where but this is not the one. This is his brother. I think it was the other one, Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, uh, bell curve. No, not Harvey Weinstein. It was it this one? Was it? Um, yeah, they found a small. They found out that black people in America had lower IQ in total, like per the Burr curve. They had lower IQ, and that just destroyed him. Eventually, he got out of it, but yeah, that's a question. That's a thing to say. It's not bad to have a lower IQ. It's just that lower IQ will provide you with lower employment opportunities. So unless you just grow and see new patterns, I think that's the way of raising your IQ. There isn't yet a way of raising your IQ, is it? I see they still haven't found proper ways to do it. What has been debunked? My more precisely, there are, of course, with high IQ. It's, for example, basis its conclusion about race on data South Africa, where the bias was high and some data wasn't even properly gathered. Exactly, but can you gather? Is it? Here's the thing with this thing: you can you gather some good information now without being considered racist? It's not about what the results are. Now you can't even make assumptions on that thing because even if you go to a city and you see that the IQ is low and you don't know the nationality and it turns out they are black, then it will be considered racist, and it's kind of weird. But again, I think the bell curve still exists, doesn't it? Let's see. I don't like. This is the problem. I don't like when people are killing each other without any, or harming each other without any proper reasons. Only because someone said the N word, or maybe because someone just has money and has fun around them, or if there's a woman alone somewhere, or if that person is not from that country, or it's helpless, or you can get money out of that. Not a thing I will agree to. Let's say, for example, bases its conclusion about race on data from South Africa, where the bias was high. Some data wasn't even properly gathered. Let's see. Talking about it. Yes, that's I was trying to formulate that because they are not big differences. They were just some data that showed some differences in IQ and what probably were some causes. But he was then harassed by people that saying that some black people have lower IQ. That's the thing. At the end of the day, racism is as real as you try to make it. There is a real racist out there, and now they have the opportunity to unveil their racism, and we won't be able to see them because everybody's racist now. You can't stop that, and that goes in a very, very bad direction. What we're gonna see in November. Because those who are more familiar with the subject already know he has a history of saying racist things and dismissing other data that could prove him wrong. Now, I know he was very dismissed, even though he was right about the waves that were coming, because the thing is, he predicted like the situation that they are in now, that racism thing, that everything based on the data he gathered. But yeah, who's gonna tell he was right now? But yeah, they're trying. The thing is, those arguments are never heard. Those real arguments that this isn't done the way it should be done. This misses much. Calling it racism, just that's why I know about him, because he was called racist, not because he was wrong on some things. Because I do like to see people getting wrong things. Sure. You do send one of those. And there are a lot of things that could change the IQ, could improve it. Well, could improve it. There are a lot of things that humans are still evolving, and we just try to get a foothold on where we are, I think, but I'll get to see. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I do like a long one. Speaking of long, I've been here for 3 hours and a half. Think almost like that. I think should end this stream. But do send to me those things. I do need to hear a lot of. I do enjoy listening to things. Tonight I'm gonna read that. It's a 10-page. As I can see, it's only a 10-page. PDF. Yes. I hope this one is it, with the poem at the end. I will read that, and we'll talk more about this if you want to. If you want to, I do want to know where things stand. I am not for Antifa at any point, as they self-proclaimed themselves to be on the part of justice, without people really having a choice in the matter. And I do not believe that black people are inferior. I do believe some people do have a low IQ, and unfortunately a lower IQ. And they are in the parts of the world where they are. All right. Yeah, I will read a little bit about this, about his mind and his reviews. So we're gonna have some good times. We're gonna have some good times chasing epiphanies. Thank you for being along. I do enjoy when you're talking. I do enjoy our talks. I know you have a different, not a different position. You have different ideas than mine on some things, on some topics, and they're probably well funded, not like mine. I do have the soul. Now I do have a couple of principles that I'm trying to center my world in, and I am still polishing them. But yeah, that will be it for today. I'm gonna end the stream, and I'll can you send me the link on Twitter, and we'll be good to go for this weekend. I'll have enough time for this weekend. So without further ado, I'm gonna search for a song, a melody. Yeah, we do have different. The thing is, I can't. I've sometimes, well, most of the time, I have to argue with people that it is okay to have different perspectives. That doesn't mean I'm against your perspective. It just means I am not into agreement with that. I have different perspectives, and that's why I'm telling that all the time. Some people don't understand that if you're not for something, that means you're against something, kind of thinking, and I don't have that thing all the time. I just have it in some places. So let's put a dramatic mood, and I'll see you Monday for sure. Until then, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just post a video. I hope I will. But without further ado, I'm gonna leave you with Mysteries by Dan Lebowitz. Have a great day, chasing epiphanies. Psycho to me, over 9,000 BPS, and everyone who joined and watched this stream. I hope I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe out there, and hopefully the lockdowns will be soon eradicated, as humans have now a better resistance to the virus. Have a good day, sir. Have a good day.